Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you my makeup diary. So I'm gonna be showing you 7 different looks that I've worn in the span of 7 different days, and kind of walk you through all the products that I'm using, what kind of eyeshadows and face products I'm rotating through. I'm trying to use some newer products that I'm hauling and some older products that I'm panning, or just products that I want to get some uses out of, so you can see a variety of different colors, different looks, and different products. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. In case you're new here, hi, my name is Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows especially, and I just love filming these collections. I think it's a really good source of inspiration. I started filming these because I saw Annette's Makeup Corner do the same thing. I don't know if she's still posting on her makeup channel, but she's absolutely wonderful and I love her. So hopefully you'll enjoy these looks. They're not all gonna be this crazy. Some of them are gonna be hopefully normal. And yeah, let's just enjoy. And in case you're new here, it would really help me if you could subscribe and leave a comment down below, like this video. It really helps the channel out. Hey guys, so here's another look. Today for brows, it's the same as always. So I have the shade New Leaf, which is depotted from the Merry Christmas palette in the brows, and I mixed it with, what did I mix? Oh, I mixed it with this Nomad Ireland Wild Atlantic Way palette, because that was the only one that I found. I don't know where all my palettes were. I think I have them in some kind of backpack and I have to take them out because I was at my dorm yesterday. But I used this shade, which is the shade Connemara, to like make it slightly more neutral, but it's still green. It still matches my hair. I have the Super Lock Brow Gel, as always. This is the only brow gel that I have. Then I have this Art Deco eyeshadow base as a primer. Then I've used the Salmona 2 palette by Udens Eye for the dark liner, and I'm using the shade Nebula. And then the shade Soft Cloud in the crease. I have the Avatar The Last Airbender Earth palette from Little, and I'm using the shade Ankh on the lid and the shade Moon Peach in the inner corner. And with that, I'm using the Shine On primer from Cleonat. I have this Salmona gel liner in the shade 07 from Udens Eye in my waterline. The Panorama mascara from L'Oreal. I have this Revolution Fast Base Blush in the shade Peach as a cheek product, or like how's it called, blush. Then I have this L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation in powder, and I have it in the shade 40 Cashmere. This is my first day trying it, and it's actually really nice. It was slightly strange at the beginning to use it, but I figured it out and now it's good. And I have this jelly lipstick, the Essence and Harley Quinn collection in the shade Gotham Glam on my lips. I just want something very neutral. And then I have the Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette, and I'm using the shade Supernova with the shade Eclipse, no, Cosmic, sorry, this is called Cosmic, as a highlighter. And this is the entire look. Oh wait, and also the wet liner here and here. I have the Glisten and Lens palette and the shade Minimum Effort, and Don't Think Just Do. I started with this for the little dots, and then with a smaller brush I added the white, and then I have the white over here. So that's the entire look. Yeah, I've been wearing a lot of blues because I've been panning a lot of blue shades. So yeah, but that's everything for today, and see you tomorrow. Guys, so here's another look. This is kind of like neutrally warm shades mixing with a little pop of blue, like very little pop of blue. And I'm loving this look. It's so fun. So let me kind of walk you through all that I used. So in my brows, I have my usual combo, which is the shade New Leaf from the Christmas Eve palette that is depotted here, and I'm mixing that with a little bit of this shade, which is the Franken shade of the Softly from Christmas Eve. and from Uden's Eye, with a little bit of setting powder, so it just like lightened. And I don't know what my hairs are doing, but I'm just not gonna comment on that. I have my Superlock brow gel from Maybelline. I have this Art Deco eyeshadow base, this little pot. And then I have the Avatar The Last Airbender palette from Lidl. This is the Air palette that is currently in my Shop My Stash for July. And I started with the Egg Custard Tart, this shade, kind of in the first half of the lid. Then I have Sky Bison in the outer half of the crease. And the shade Council of Elders, this one, in the outer corner and on the lower lash line. Then I'm using the Shine On Shimmer Primer from Cleona. And I have the shade Yip Yip in the second half of the lid. It's a beautiful kind of mauvey, rosy, going into this like purpley, blue sparkly shade. Then I have Ang, this central shade in the inner half of the crease. And the shade Moon Peach in the inner corner. It's such a beautiful shade. Then to finish it up, I have this NYX Epic Wear eyeliner stick in the shade Blue Trip. This beautiful kind of bluey seafoamy shade. Then this Essence All Eyes on Me mascara. I have the Maybelline Superstay concealer in the shade 10, which is my project pan. Another my project pan product is the Revolution Fast Base Blush in the shade Peach. I'm kind of trying to use it a lot before I'm gonna go to Sweden for my vacation, because I'm not gonna carry this bulky little thing. So yeah, I'm trying to get some uses now so that we can move on with this a little faster. Then I used my Winnie the Pooh Sweet as Can Be palette from Colourpop, which is currently my Project 20 Uses palette. And I mixed the shade Make Believe and the Oh Bother for my face highlighter. But I felt like it's too little, like it was very non-existent. So the really sparkly one that you see on my face is actually the shade Moon Peach. That's also in my inner corner. And I love using my inner corners for my face highlight because A, it always matches, and B, it's just way better. And then for my lips, I'm wearing the Uden's Eye and Angelica Nyquist Halloween lipstick, and this one is the matte one in the shade Swamp Fog, another one of my Project Pan products that I'm trying to use up. This is infinite. Like, I swear to God, I've used it so many times this year, and there's still product there. I don't even know what to say about that one. Those are all the products that are currently on my face. And let me know oh my God, I would forget about the most important part. Well, kind of. I'm using this blue matte shade that is depotted here. This is the matte blue from the Christmas Eve palette by Uden's Eye, and it's called Night Sky. I'm trying to use it up, and as you can see, like, I don't have much work for me in front of me with this one. So I have that just over here to almost create like a cut crease in a way. Yeah, I just think it's very pretty. It's a little grungy, but still kind of cute. Obviously you don't have to do this part, but I love the like kind of light bluey shimmers with these warm tones. I think that just looks so pretty, and it definitely works without this little line. Perfect, like such a cute little look. Hey guys, so here's another daily makeup look, and today I decided to combine or like create my favorite combination with blue, which is these neon yellows. I just love combining these two colors. It's just such a fun little look. It can completely change like a monochromatic blue look. And let me walk you through what I used. I have this same brow as usual these days, so I have the shade New Leaf from the Merry Christmas pad in my brows, and I mixed that in with a little bit of this shade here, which is the shade Soft Flame. Then I have my Maybelline Super Lock. Yeah, Super Lock Brow Gel. My Art Deco um, primer. I actually have a dent in there, which is kind of strange since I've only used it a couple of times, but whatever. It's a good primer. Well, it's an okay primer. Then I have. What do I actually have on? Oh yeah, I know. I did my makeup like quite a long time ago. Um, so I don't actually remember all that well. But I have this shade, which I think is called Night Sky from the Christmas Eve palette. I really want to use up this shade, so I've been coming up with looks of Night Sky. I don't know if I said that. Coming up with looks that will utilize it, and I have that all on the lid. Like I use that kind of as a base, so I kind of encase my entire lid and in the outer corner with it. Then I soften it up in the crease with my Summer BYOP palette. Just this one, I'm actually holding it upside down so that you don't see the mirror because I don't want to blind you. And I've used this blue shade, which is called Nightmare, and it's from the Night Terror palette by Unearthly. And then I also used my Salmon 2 palette by Udent Eye, and I've used the shade Soft Cloud, this light blue, to blend it out into the brow. So it's just a basic smoky eye, just with the blue. Then I have the Cleonut, how is it called? Shine On Shimmer Primer. And I've used this shade from the Summer BYOP, which is called Angel, and it's from the All I Ever Wanted palette. It's such a beautiful blue shade, kind of blue periwinkly. I really enjoy this one a lot. Then, what else do I have on? I've actually repressed my couple of my shades from the Christmas Eve and Merry Christmas, well, mostly Christmas Eve, actually exclusively Christmas Eve palette, and I've used this shade, which is combination of the Blue Star, that like really deep blue shimmer, then the shade Wonderful, which is that like purpley shimmer, and the shade Silvery Dream. So yeah, these three are all mixed into this eyeshadow, and I used that in the kind of like inner half. And then in the inner corner, I have one of my Pendos eyeshadows, which is in the Serpent palette by Mika Beauty Shop, and it's the shade Forewarning. This one, so that's in my inner corner. Yeah, I think that's everything. Then obviously the bottom lash line is the same as the top lid. Then I have my Solmana gel liner in the shade 09, so that's in my waterline. I have the Panorama mascara from L'Oreal. I have the Maybelline Super Stay Concealer in the shade 10. I have my Revolution Fast Base blush on. It's a beautiful blush. It's in the shade Peach. And then I mixed up two shades actually to create my highlighter, which I think is very pretty today. I've used the Winnie the Pooh palette and the shade Oh Bother, this one, and I mixed that in with the Sorbeti palette, which is my current palette crush of the month, and I mixed that with the Essentia Brosquini. This is a beautiful kind of peachy goldy shimmery shade. It looks so great on the face because all of these shimmers are actually lighter on the face or on your eyes than they are in the pan. They're actually pretty iridescent and they look beautiful, and they're so sparkly and just absolutely wonderful. So here's the look, a little bit more as a close-up, maybe kind of like, I never know how to show this, but yeah, it's such a pretty kind of way to wear blue and make kind of a neutral, make kind of a monochromatic blue look, but then spicing it up. Oh, and lips, I almost forgot. I have the Oden's Eye and Oden's Eye and Angelica Nico's Halloween lipstick, and this one is the matte one in the shade Shadow Creature. It's my one of my Pendos, one of my Project Pen products. Hi guys, so let me kind of show you what I use. Brows are what I've been using lately a lot, but I don't know in which order this is going. These looks are going in, so I have this shade, which is called New Leaf. It's from the Merry Christmas Palette by Oden's Eye. I just depotted here, and I've mixed that with a little bit of a brown Franken shade to make it a little bit more of a brow color. And I have the Super Lock Brow Gel from Maybelline. This is my only brow gel that I'm currently using. And the Art Deco eye primer. Again, it's just something that I've started using like a week ago, and it's been on my table, so I've been using it every single day because that's how it goes with me. Unless I'm planning something, it's just whatever. Like if I start using something for whatever reason, then I just keep using it until I get bored or until I use it up. Because I'm lazy to look for other things. But then I'm using the Haggard Ecstasy of Saintes, which was sent to me in PR a while ago. They sent me 2 palettes, and I only have this one at this point. And I've used, actually, you know what? I started with something else. I started with the Ocean Jewel palette by Bella Beauty Bar, because this is my first time trying this palette since I filmed my review of this palette, and I noticed one shade in this palette was slightly different than the others, and I had a harder time using it, so I wanted to try it again while I still remember exactly how the other shades worked, so that I can determine whether it was just a coincidence and a bad day, or if the shade isn't as good as the other ones. And it was the shade Kahok. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. I've looked up the pronunciation, I just don't remember how it was. So this very, very, very vibrant purple. I have it in the outer corner, like the whole outer half of the lid. And my problem with it was that it didn't really want it to blend, and it was hard layering it when I first tried it in my review. Granted, I did more like a graphic look and I just did a line with it, but you know. I found out that today when I used it on a eyeshadow base, nothing on my eyes, literally just the eyeshadow base, no setting it, which I normally don't do anyways, nothing on my eyes. It was the first shade I layered, first shade I used on my eyes. And I would use a denser but still slightly fluffy brush. I'm gonna show you. I actually use this one from Cinch. This kind of box shaped one. It's EO6, right? Yeah, Cinch Beauty EO6, because you can blend out with this, but it's also like pretty good for packing. And I would pack it all in this area, everywhere on the lid. Like I literally did like a full-on swipe here. And then I started slowly dabbing around that area very slowly, and then in a super slow circular motion started blending it out a little bit. I didn't take it too far, like I literally just made sure that the borders of this color will not be harsh. And it worked. This way it was okay. I don't know if it would work over other shades, and the reason for that is this is purple. Purples are generally harder to work with, and these super vibrant ones usually are pretty shitty to work with. So if you want to use them first. Lightly blend them out, very lightly, and then use whatever else on other areas. Don't try to blend this with anything else. Don't try to layer over it, and definitely don't layer this over anything else. Generally speaking, these colors don't like to be used that way. I will try to use it that way eventually, just to confirm this theory, because that's what happened the first time, and I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen other times as well. But if you use it this way, just packing it out and slightly, very teeny tiny little circular motions around to like slightly diffuse it, you will be good, you know. That's probably the only thing that I'm gonna say. Any of these other purples and blues work perfectly fine. But these very, very vibrant purples, I've had 2 similar ones in different palettes, and I know that they're usually worse quality than all the other shades in those palettes. It's not that they're bad quality. It's just, you know, it is significantly harder to use these than any other matte eyeshadow. So that's what I have in the outer part, and then I used the Haggard palette, and I have this pink shade. I brought it kind of in the first half of the crease and slightly blended out the first shade, but it was mostly just like putting it a little bit above it and then softly merging them together. This one is called Saintess. And then I have this shade, which is called the Nornt, and I have that in the inner, kind of like inner crease. It's not in my inner corner, but it's in the inner crease, in this like area. If I cover my eye like this is exactly the area that I have the white kind of shade on. So that's that one. And then I have the pink shade on the lower lash line, and then this brown, kind of brown, yeah, it's a brown shade, it's kind of purpley, called Midnight Oat on the lower lash line. Sorry that I keep looking that way, but I have a mirror and I can see myself and also the camera, so I'm so sorry. Then for the shimmer, so I'm currently testing the Shine On Shimmer Shadow Enhancer from Clionadh, and the shimmers that I've used. So I have the shade Kenosis, which is this deep shade in the outer part. I have this shade that I don't have much of, which is the Heart of Saintess. I have that all over the first half of the lid. It's a beautiful pink, orange, green, everything. Like, this is such a gorgeous multichrome. It is very like jelly, but what I like about it is it's almost like a jelly glue. So once it is on your eyes, it doesn't move. It's still super sparkly and very wet looking, but it's not creasing. I've had this for like 9 hours, maybe 10 hours right now, and there's no creasing. So this one is really nice. I used the Ocean Jewel palette again, and I used this shade called Abalone. I believe that's how that's called. And I have that over the darker shimmer just to make it a little bit more purpley to match it with the purple matte. And then I used my Smitten palette from Diavrune, and I used the shade Persuasive, this one in the inner corner. I also have this She Glam eyeliner. This is like one of those Heart Eyes 2-in-1 stamp eyeliner, like liquid eyeliner, and I've used the heart stamp here because I don't know, I just found it in my drawer and I decided to use it to test if it still works. And then I also use the shade Love Bite from this palette to cover it up so that in certain angles it's just like a black, but then when light hits it, and I don't know if you will see it, it's just like a pinky sparkly heart. I just wanted to play, you know. And I wanted to use this one because it's my Project 20 uses palette, and I think I'm gonna use them a lot together. I think they fit really nicely together. Then I have this Beauty Moon's eyeliner. This is the Beauty Moon, I don't know how it's called, but it's just like a pencil eyeliner for your waterline, or you can use it as an eyeliner as well. And this one is the shade 06. It's a beautiful kind of pinky green. I don't know if it's very visible because it's quite light, so it looks a lot like my waterline unless light hits it, and then you can see the like multi-chrome green there. But otherwise the pink one is kind of very similar to my waterline, like the flesh color, so it's kind of harder to see. Then I have the Panorama mascara from L'Oreal. This one is the Volume Million Lashes something. It's just the Panorama. And then I have my Superstay Concealer from Maybelline. This is getting really light. Like, I've just noticed that this is almost like air. So I don't know if I'm getting closer to finishing it. It's kind of, I don't see anything inside and I can't see the walls all that much. So I don't know if we're getting closer to finishing it, but that's what I've been using in every single video because that's my only concealer that I have. I used to have another one, but I lost it and I can't find it. Then for blush, I'm actually using my Air palette from Little, from the Avatar The Last Airbender collection. This is the Air one. I don't know if I said that. And I'm mixing the shade Sky Bison and Air Temple because I found out that this creates the most beautiful rosy blush. Like, do you see how pretty that is? I love this blush. Like, it's such a pretty blush color. And it was just like randomly, I tried it, I think 2 days ago, and I fell in love with it. So I just had to show you. And you can definitely use your eyeshadows for blush, especially if you have like a light bony color that I never have any other use for. I usually mix them with shades that I want as a blush, but usually eyeshadows are way too pigmented to be used as blush, so you need something to like mix them in. And then for blush, sorry, highlighter, I'm using the Sweetest Can Be palette. I usually use eyeshadows as blush. Seriously, well, I do use them as blushes, but also as highlighters. And I use the shade Oh Bother, this beautiful shade. It's kind of like a peachy pink with a little bit of gold, and I wanted to make it a little bit more purpley and also a little bit more sparkly because this one is a bit more satiny. So I used the Sorbetty palette by Glam Shop that is currently my palette crush of the month, and I mixed that with this Lavandova Perla, which is very iridescent soft purple. And I think you can see like it just really gives it this shine. All the color is the Winnie the Pooh shade, and all the like shiny wet look is from this eyeshadow from the Sorbetty palette. And I just love mixing them like this. It creates such a beautiful effect, and I love these. And then I have the Oden's Eye and Angelica Nico's Halloween lipstick. This one is the matte one in the shade Shadow Creature. It's this red one. I'm trying to use it up. I know I use it in every single video, but it's just, I would really love to. This project has been really amazing because I used to not like red lips on me. But I think this really works. Obviously now I have cool toned hair, so it works better. But even with my natural color, which is kind of like a, used to be blonde, now it's brown type of color, you know, it's not like brown, but it's like, it looks brown until you come close and then you realize, oh, she was probably blonde. You can tell. What did I wanted to say? Even then, this color actually suits me, and I think it's the fact that it's like a brownie red. You know, like it has that warm, that warm brownie feel to it, and I think that's what works. I don't like these like purpley cool toned reds, like they just look really weird on me, and also they really emphasize my how is it called, like the discoloration on my under eyes. Obviously I have concealer on, so you can't see it, but yeah. But these kind of brownier reds, I think it could be about this. I've actually really enjoyed wearing it, and also I love the fact that this actually lasts. This is kind of like that souffle clay formula. It's not fully matte because like I think you can see like it's not smudge proof, it's not transfer proof, but it doesn't dry out your lips. They're still like very satin, and it actually doesn't really move. Even if you eat more like oilier foods, it doesn't move too much, and you can still do this and then kind of like make it look okay again. So I've been really loving these actually. This year has taught me to love this formula, which is kind of sad that I'm gonna pan it, but also like they're older, so I should pan them. Anyways, that was a rant. This is the look. Let me kind of show you a little bit more of a close-up. It's so pretty. I don't wear these colors a lot. This time of the year, I usually focus on these looks more in the winter, where I genuinely love wearing purple. In summer, I usually just wear like pastel purples or periwinkles. I don't go this dark. But yeah, it's really, really pretty. Hi guys, so here's another look. And today, the brow is the same, I think, as with the other looks. So I have this shade, which is the New Leaf from Merry Christmas. And I'm mixing it with a little bit of a brown. And then I'm using the Superlock Brow Glue from Maybelline. I have my Art Deco eyeshadow primer. Then I went in and started with my Undergrowth palette from Cosmic Beauty. And I used this shade called Lichen in the inner half. Then I have the Monk by Fantasy Cosmetica and the shade Channel, this one, in the outer half. As the liner, by the way, I'm using the same on the lower lash line. As the liner, I have the shade Christmas Tree, which is depotted from the Merry Christmas palette. Same as the shade New Leaf that's in my brows. Then I have the Shine On primer from Cleonat. And from this palette, I used the shade Undergrowth on the outer part. And then the Monk palette and the shade Strike in the first half of the lid, and the shade Flow in the inner part. Then I have this Chartreuse Flash NYX Epic Wear Liner in the waterline. Panorama Mascara from L'Oreal on my lashes. Superstay Concealer from Maybelline in the shade number 10. Then the Revolution Fast Base Blush in the shade Peach on my cheeks. And then blush. I'm using the Sweet as Can Be by Colourpop and the shade Make Believe, and I mixed that with the Glam Shop Sorbet palette and the shade Essenzias Brosquigny, so I mixed them to create this highlighter. And then I have this Auden's Eye and Angelica Nyquist lipstick, and this one is the shade, it's the matte one called Swamp Fog that I've been using a lot. And yeah, it's just a very simple look, but I wanted to use my use the Merry Christmas palette or the rest of it, and then a couple of other greens, so that's what happened today. Hi guys, so here's another daily look. I don't know if it's not similar to something that I've already shown in this video, but it doesn't matter. I just wanted like a quick look, and I wanted to use a couple of my project products. So I have my New Leaf shade from the Merry Christmas as a brow shade. Then I have my Superlock brow glue. Then I have my Art Deco eyeshadow base. Then I used my Smitten palette from Diavrune, and I have the shade Toe Beans in the outer part of the lid. I also used my Ecstasy of Saintess from Haggard, and I have this shade, which is called Saintess, to blend it out, and a little bit of this light shade called the Norns underneath the brow bone, and also this vibrant pink shade on the lower lash line. Then I also have my Makeup Beauty Shop Serpent palette and the shade Forewarning, this one because it's in one of my projects. And then I have the Shine On Shadow Enhancer from Cleonat, and I used from the Smitten palette, I used the shade Love Bite in the outer part. Then I have the Haggard palette and the shade Heart of Saintess, this one, all in the first half. And in my inner corner, I have this Colourpop Sweet as Can Be palette and the shade Make Believe, this one. Oh, and I also have a little bit of a green eyeliner, which is the shade, this one, which is called Christmas Tree from Auden's Eye. Then I have my Superstay Concealer from Maybelline in the shade number 10. I have this Revolution Fast Base Blush in the shade Peach on my cheeks. I have this Pastel Dream Auto Eyeliner from LA Girl in the shade Sunshine on my waterline. I have this Panorama Mascara from L'Oreal on my lashes. And then I mixed the Sweet as Can Be palette and the shade Oh Bother, this one, with Glam Shop Sorbet palette and the shade Essenzias Brosquigny as my highlighter. I've been actually using it a lot as a highlighter lately, and I've been loving this. So that's kind of all that I'm wearing currently. And this is kind of how the look looks like. I love the multi-chrome shade from the Haggard palette. It's so stunning. It also has a little bit of green. That's why I added the green eyeliner, not just for the fact that I want to use it up. But that's gonna be everything for today, and see you tomorrow. Hi guys, so here's another look. Today I kind of went in with a lot of my Pendos eyeshadows, Pendos palettes and stuff like that. I've been really good at like focusing on my project palettes and like project shades, which just makes me so happy. So for my brows, I'm actually using the Showy Makeup. Well, I'm not using a shade from this, but I have repressed this shade in here, and this one is called New Leaf, and it's from the Christmas Eve palette by Odensai that I'm trying to use up this year. And I mixed that with a little bit of this Nomad Ireland Wild Atlantic Way because it has this shade called Connemara, and it's perfect for mixing it in to create this like slightly more neutral version of this greenish shade, because I still want it to like match my hair, but I don't want it to be like too pigmented and too starry because that would look weird. So I've been loving mixing these two together to create that shade. I have my Superlock brow gel, or like brow glue, to make it stay. And I have this Art Deco eyeshadow base. I don't know if this has any color to it. I don't think it does. So yeah, it's this base. I used it yesterday and I have had it on my table, so I just decided to use it again. And for eyeshadows, so I have the wing, the green wing, which I'm using my Christmas tree shade, also from the Merry Christmas palette. I just have it repressed here because, you know, I don't have that many shades left from that palette. I slightly blended that shade out into the crease with the shade New Leaf again. And then the yellow one that's kind of encasing everything is from the Serpent palette by Makeup Beauty Shop in collaboration with Martha's Makeup. And it's the shade Forewarning, this beautiful yellow, because it's currently in my Pendos eyeshadows, in case you haven't seen that video yet. And then for shimmers, so I'm using my Shine On Shimmer Primer from Cleonat. I have this dark shade, this dark green called Full Bloom in the outer part on the crease. And then I'm wearing the Summer BYOP that I've built, and I'm using this shade, this like beautiful goldy green shimmer shade, which is called Sprout, and it's from the Spring Magic palette by Unearthly. And then let me see, then I have the inner corner shade, which is the Glam Shop Sorbet palette, which is currently, and I'm using this shade called Merjne Citrine. Then a blush. I've actually used a blush that I haven't used in a while, like in many months, but it's a blush that I'm trying to use up, or at least get a lot of uses out of, in my project pan, like the year-long project pan. And it's this shade, it's this blush from Glam Shop, seriously, from Colourpop, and it's the shade All Laced Up from their Super Shock blush collection. And it's kind of like peachy goldy orange that I have on my face. It's very beautiful. Then I'm using this shade slightly as a bronzer, and this is the shade Softly from the Christmas Eve palette by Udens Eye, and I have it mixed with a little bit of setting powder. Then I have this concealer. This is the Maybelline Superstay concealer. This LA Girl Pastel Dream Auto eyeliner in the shade Sunshine. It's this light yellow. It's very pretty. I have my Panorama Volume Million Lashes mascara from L'Oreal. Then I have I have the shade Milky Way from this Beauty Bay Mini Charms palette underneath my brows. And then I'm mixing the shade Supernova with the shade Pluto, so this pink with this gold, on my cheeks. Just, you know, I've been working on both of these shades. And lipstick is this Udens Eye and Angelica Halloween lipstick. It's the matte one in the shade Swamp Fog. So it's this beautiful terracotta brownish orangey. And yeah, that's everything that I have on today. I have something in my eye. I have very itchy eye today, and it's like on the top part of the lid right next to the inner corner, and it's like inside. It's kind of like from the other side of the lid, and it's just, I don't know why it's itching there so much, but it's been annoying me the whole day. But yeah, that's actually everything that I have on. It's just kind of like mojito inspired look. At least for me, it looks like a mojito. Let me know if you have the same opinion. Maybe I should have added a little bit more white line there, but you know, I didn't, unfortunately. But let me know what you think about this look, and I think this is the last look of these diaries. So let me know which look was your favorite down below, and what kind of eye looks or face makeup you've been wearing the most lately. I know it's summer and a lot of people don't really wear makeup. So like, what has been your go-to on a daily basis? And if you're somewhere on vacation, also comment down below where is your vacation currently and what fun places are you currently exploring. But that's everything for this video, and I hope I'm gonna be able to see you tomorrow with another video. Bye!